Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing the synastry between Nicola Peltz and Brooklyn Beckham because this family drama, it continues to unfold. And their synastry, it explains every headline in the media. This one was destined to get messy. So I'm going to get started. Oh, quick note on his chart. Brooklyn has the asteroid Victoria, his mother's name, sitting right on his moon in the first house. And in astrology, the moon is the mother. So his identity and his emotional life are shaped by her presence, for better or worse. Now, here is why their relationship keeps landing in the headlines. Brooklyn's Mars, Folsom, conjuncts Nicola's North Node in Scorpio. So here's how this actually plays out between them. Mars pushes their issues straight into the public. He activates her relationship storyline in a loud, dramatic way because their lives are already on display. Folsom is the prison asteroid, so that's like the prison door slamming shut. And that wedding dress drama, that was the sentence. And once it hit the media, they were locked in with no exit because of Folsom. That's a good example of how this plays out in the theme of their relationship. And Tisiphone, one of the three Greek Furies in Greek mythology, that's the payback. That's why tiny misunderstandings explode into full headlines. The media becomes the Fury. It grabs the story and refuses to let it go. And because all of this is in Scorpio, everything is extreme. No middle ground here. Now that you understand the chaos between them, here comes the price tag. Her money asteroid conjuncts his North Node. So his destiny with her gets pulled into her world and her wealth. This relationship is not just hearts and flowers. There's a price to be paid while he's in her orbit. Because her money asteroid on his North Node, it means that suddenly the whole thing feels like it's like a gilded cage. It looks beautiful from the outside, but he is living by her rules, her lifestyle, and her family power. He signed that ironclad prenup. Her money asteroid on his North Node, it shows up as real life. It shows up as real life fine print, and the contract wrote itself. But the money wasn't the only thing he gave up. Something much bigger got pulled into this. His Mercury and Jupiter conjuncts her Niobe. This is the real indicator of the family loss storyline. Niobe in Greek mythology is the energy of losing your family. So he drifts from his family and orbits hers. His Mercury says to her, "My family is gone, and your family becomes my world now." So his middle name now is Peltz. His name is Brooklyn Peltz Beckham, and this aspect explains it. And once that door closed behind him, he ran straight into hers because her groom and her name Nicola conjuncts his Venus in the 7th house. This is why he locks onto her so fast. Her commitment energy hits his love center, and he steps straight into the partner role. He orbits her. He chooses the relationship fully. This is the aspect that makes him show up like he is already the husband. And here's the twist. Right where her groom and her name, Nicola, conjuncts his Venus, her Humpty Dumpty asteroid is there too. So he locks in fast, he steps straight into the partnership role, but Humpty Dumpty marks the spot where the relationship cannot hold the same shape forever. This is going to be the point of fracture. The pressure builds, and something in this love story eventually takes a fall, and once it breaks, it never goes back the same way. Humpty Dumpty is the crack you cannot put back together again. But even devotion has a shadow, and here is where it shows up. Her Dejanira conjuncts his South Node. She pulls him straight into a dynamic that he already knows too well, the victim story. It's the pattern of victimhood entering the relationship, and he responds to it instantly because this energy is familiar. It's on the South Node. This is a karmic theme between them, which ties into the following. Because the control steps in right behind it. His Nessus trines her Mars by 1 degree, so the power imbalance between them flows way too easily. With Nessus, I always talk about abuse when it's a conjunction, but a trine hides the impact. This isn't loud or explosive. This is the kind of control that can slide in quietly. And this is exactly the kind of aspect that can set the stage for betrayal later. A trine lets the Nessus person influence, sway, or dominate the other person. It feels natural, comfortable, like this is just how we are, which coincides with her Dejanira on his South Node. And the betrayal theme is already sewn into this chart because his Sedna conjuncts her South Node and her own Sedna. Sedna is the story of family, betrayal, and abandonment, specifically by the father, where someone is sacrificed or left to drown but transforms into power through survival. So they understand this dynamic. It's an unspoken contract between them. They're very familiar with this energy. But even with all that betrayal dynamic, the love between them is real. She loves him because her Amor conjuncts his descendant, and he loves her because his Alma conjuncts her sun at 0 degrees. It feels pure, like he sees her light and genuinely loves her essence. Alma is that soul-level devotion, but when you layer in her Venus conjunct his Chiron on top of that, it twists the sweetness with ache. Venus is how she gives and receives love, and Chiron is his open wound. His pain leaks into the relationship. The sting of Chiron saying, but love still hurts. It's a bond that can heal, but also brings pain at the same time. Now, his Ixion is on her Venus too. This is love with a dangerous edge. Ixion doesn't play by the rules. It's love and adventure, but it ignores consequences. So he brings this bad boy energy into the relationship that crosses boundaries. Somewhere down the line, something's going to happen where he's going to cross a boundary in some way. It's going to bring pain into this love relationship. That's what I see. So underneath all that love, the rupture is waiting. Because his Uranus conjuncts her nemesis. It's betrayal with a lightning strike. He shocks, she feels betrayed. It's that sudden split rupture that changes everything. And it's not just nemesis, but her Apophis is there too. So when the shocks happen, it isn't a small fracture. It's the kind of destruction that can take the whole relationship down. Apophis has to do with chaos and destruction. And then the truth gets fogged up and starts slipping because his Neptune in the 4th house conjuncts her Mercury and Lachesis. This is where the gaslight energy creeps in. His Neptune fogs her clarity. Mercury is her voice, and Lachesis is the ending that comes too soon. So she tries to communicate, and he redirects it or blurs the truth. It fogs up the whole window of clarity and truth. And this is the part of the relationship where she starts doubting what she knows. Lachesis ends the conversation before the actual truth lands. Nemesis is there too. She starts thinking there might be betrayal. She picks up the signs, but Neptune fogs up the logic. So she can't tell if it's real or if it's distortion. And with his Neptune in his 4th house, there's secrets in this family. The Beckham family has buried secrets, but Brooklyn's bringing them out. He's starting to let it all come out. And if you think this is the end of the story, it isn't. Because fate drops the final clue. Her Hemingway is on his south node, and his Hemingway is on her south node. That's not random. That's the writer's signature. That's the story keeper. That's the person who turns their life into a book. It's named after Ernest Hemingway, the writer. So I actually think he writes a book one day about being a victim, both her and him, due to Dejanira on the south node. And the universe already stamped it. Approved. So that's all I have today with these two. And I will be back shortly with other Synastry charts and natal charts as well. And I hope you enjoyed this interpretation and have a great day.